Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Here with Brandon again. Want to do a cool little series of videos here. We're going to do a few short ones. Obviously, they'll come out in segments. We've got a ton of topics that people have, left below, commented on some of the videos, messaged us directly, things like that. So, gonna go over a few. But first things first, Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, good. You know, uh, TGIF or whatever it is.
There it
Friday.
is.
So things are good. No complaints, but
Have to complain about a Friday.
exactly. Well, here, so I got an industry question next. So I'm just general, kind of wanted to get, your expert opinion on, what's your general outlook on the cannabis industry for the next, 5, 10, whatever years?
Yeah. I think that, as we look at what industries are going to grow in kind of this next evolution of kind of the economy, I would have to say that cannabis is going to be one of those industries where you're just going to see tremendous growth, right? Certainly in good times, you see a lot of industries growing, but, certainly in bad times, oftentimes, you see others not growing as fast, right? The one thing I can say about cannabis is that it is going to grow in good times and bad, which is exciting, right? I think that, you can't even as a consumer buy cannabis in every single state in the US. So even that provides a tremendous growth opportunity, right? I mean, if you look at California in 2019, it was a $4 billion total addressable market. And that's only on the legal side. You still had a huge, almost $7 billion market in illicit sales in California, right? And so, from a growth perspective, even just looking at, New York, right? If the expectation is it's going to be $1 billion market in the first year, where else are you just going to overnight turn on $1 billion worth of potential sales just in one geographic region? So I think the next 5 to 10 years are going to be huge for the cannabis space. I think that you're going to see states get deeper and deeper, right? More and more consumers are going to begin to kind of try cannabis. But then you're also going to see that not only is it going deeper, but it's going wider, right? You're going to have more and more states legalize cannabis and eventually push towards that federal legalization. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting year for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, no, I think obviously just from the legal front and more states coming on board is fantastic. We get some questions. I would love your kind of feeling. Like, let's talk California, for example. You can smoke legally, whatever. We get questions that are, how much bigger can the California market get when it's already legal? I'm curious if you had any views. We get this thought of, oh, how much bigger can it get when there's, still only whatever, so many people, it's already, they say, already set, right? So curious what your views are and how do you expand a market within something that's already existing?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that the thing that I would point to most is, you hope for more and more customers to kind of come into the market, right? I think that that's where it's the new customers, right, that are going to really help grow California, right? It's not your traditional smokers, but may or cannabis users, but maybe it's the different categories, seniors, soccer moms, all sorts of different categories that weren't really big into cannabis prior are going to begin to kind of trickle in, right? So I think you're just going to have a ton of new customers who have never used cannabis, previously, begin to kind of dabble and enter into the space. The other kind of component for growth in a state like California is, again, I pointed to it in 2019, it was $4 billion of legal sales, but you had $7 billion in 2019 for illicit sales, right? And so, the legal market missed out on almost $7 billion of sales, right? That's almost 2x the $4 billion, right? And so as the government and the states and municipalities begin to kind of crack down on the black market, we think that those illicit sales will go to the legal side, right? And so even if the total addressable market does not grow within the state, if you can crack down on half of the illicit sales in a state like California, going from 11 to half of that, right? It adds a huge growth opportunity to kind of add on to the existing $4 billion market.
Yeah, no, interesting. Know, great answers, especially with such a huge, under the table market there. So fantastic. Um, Curious if you can expand on, maybe why you think there's going to be new customers coming into the market, of course, as things mature. I see this question all the time on a lot of the, investment forums or just general kind of, forums out there. What makes you confident that there's going to be more customers?
Yeah, I think that cannabis serves a variety of reasons, right? You have pain components, you have all sorts of ailment components where cannabis is going to be, a solution for that. I think cannabis is also a great alternative to alcohol, right? You're going to see a lot of folks who, maybe have a glass of wine every night. Maybe they might turn to cannabis, right? But I think that, overall, while we think the cannabis market is mature, it's very immature from the standpoint of kind of this mainstream, main street adoption, right? And so we just know that there are categories of people um, that have not used cannabis prior, right? I mean, I think if you think back, it's only been legal for a very short amount of time, and so that adoption period is going to take the course of several years. And so we think that there will just continue to be this influx on an annual basis of new customers, right? People can only smoke so much or use so much cannabis, right? But it's those new consumers that I think are going to add tremendous breadth to the industry.
Yeah, cool. No, awesome. All great answers. Of course, the just general legalization point was the biggest one by far, but I think you absolutely crushed the other ones. So thank you. Anything else industry related before we go on to our last little question here that I have?
Yeah, no, I think certainly the takeaway is that it's an exciting time, right? Tremendous growth ahead, and certainly unlike probably any other industry that you're going to find over the next couple of years.
Yeah, awesome. Brandon, thank you. I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Anything else you want to leave people with?
Yeah, no, this was great. Again, I think feel free to ask questions, and I'm happy to always jump on and kind of provide insights, whether it be about our company or the industry as a whole. Happy to serve as a resource.
Awesome. Well, Brandon, thanks so much. Enjoy your weekend. We'll chat again soon.
Sounds great.